What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Travis Hunter.
And Liana.
And we back with another
video.
Now I want to get into a story I've seen percolating in the headlines and social media. And that's about Heisman Trophy winner Travis Hunter and his fiancée, Liana Lene.
They called her fake. They called her a gold digger. Some even said Travis Hunter's whole love story was staged. But then, StephenASmith came swinging, and what he said just flipped the entire internet on its head. StephenASmith's voice doesn't just speak. It detonates, sharp and thunderous, demanding attention. But this time, his fire isn't aimed at missed free throws or questionable coaching decisions. Instead, his fury is directed at the barrage of venomous criticism hurled at Travis Hunter and his fiancée, Liana Lynn. His outrage crackles through the screen, not as a commentator dissecting stats, but as a defender of dignity and love. We've grown accustomed to Stephen impassioned tirades, yet this moment feels different, personal, almost protective. He steps boldly into the messy world of celebrity scrutiny, planting himself squarely in front of the digital mob as though he were a lone warrior holding the line. What he delivers isn't merely a rebuttal to online hate. It's a battle cry, a declaration that some fights go far beyond the scoreboard.
Friend of yours, his relationship is public, and people are beating him up about it. Travis.
Oh, yeah, I have been seeing that.
The timing is volatile. Travis Hunter should be celebrating Heisman winner, #2 draft pick, all in a single year. Instead, he and Liana Lynn stand in a public arena, every gesture dissected like evidence. StephenASmith flips the script. He reminds the world this isn't a reality show. It's two people who've endured together since their teens. This is loyalty. This is love. And it's also vultures circling. His voice sharpens, daring the audience to admit the truth. This isn't sports coverage, it's a feeding frenzy. Liana has been at the center from the start. When clips of her at the Heisman ceremony went viral, one paused before cheering. She was branded cold, ungrateful, detached. Then came the avalanche. Travis's gifts, the Hello Kitty Tesla, the custom Mercedes at their wedding, fueled the gold digger story. Every smile called fake, every tear staged, every outfit too extravagant. The obsession grew so relentless that both she and Travis deactivated their accounts, retreating from a spotlight they never sought but couldn't escape.
Of course, we're going to discuss it because he is a celebrity. This is part of the news. People are going to talk about it whether you want them to talk about it or not. You have to learn that you don't have to address everything.
StephenA. wasn't about to let the pylon slide. His voice, booming across TV screens and social feeds, wasn't just loud, it was defiant. He didn't dodge the rumors, he crushed them. And in doing so, he jolted an audience that had grown comfortable casting Liana as an easy target. Hearing one of sports media's strongest voices defend her was like gasoline on an already raging fire. This was no longer about one couple under attack. It was about whether the mob could be challenged at all, and who else might dare to try. The storm that fueled this backlash wasn't random trolling. It carried a storyline. Like every tabloid saga, it demanded villains and cliffhangers. That's when the whispers started. A prenup scandal. Rumors claimed Travis's own family urged him to sign protection papers before the wedding, his NFL millions deemed too valuable to risk. Love, some suggested, wasn't enough to guarantee trust in a world where fortunes vanish overnight. If true, it meant even his closest circle hadn't fully embraced Liana. And the question lingered, can a relationship survive when every embrace, every gift, every kiss feels weighed against a balance sheet? For critics, the answer was clear. Liana wasn't seen as a wife. She was a headline in waiting.
Why? Because you find people soft spot and you squeeze. That's the cruel world we're living in.
This was the backdrop for Stephen counterattack. While whispers of secret contracts swirled in private, the public pile-on grew vicious. Former Cowboy star Des Bryant openly told Travis to cut ties with Liana before it was too late. Charleston White fanned the flames with his own chaotic commentary, shocking even longtime followers. Across social media, fans demanded Travis walk away, their posts sounding less like advice and more like sentencing. Every viral clip fed the fire. Liana turning her face from a post-game kiss. Lina looking bored at a meet and greet. Each moment became another nail hammered into her reputation. She couldn't breathe without it being broadcast, dissected, and condemned. That's where the twist came. StephenA didn't just defend Lina. He named every voice that piled on. In a media world where silence often equals survival, he broke the code. His rebuttal was sharp, personal, and unapologetic. He flipped the spotlight onto the critics themselves, daring them to own their words once the heat came down. Was Des Bryant offering real advice or chasing relevance? Were fan accounts truly worried for Travis or hooked on the thrill of tearing someone apart? StephenASmith's tirade didn't just shield Lina, it stripped the mask off a game being played at her expense.
Never post when y'all have problems.
Okay.
And be honest, always.
The irony was clear. Every time Travis and Lina tried to explain themselves, the fire only spread. In December, Lina went online to clarify her hesitation at the Heisman ceremony, saying she'd simply followed Travis's mother, who also hadn't stood. But nuance doesn't go viral. The clip did, looped endlessly as proof of disrespect. Old videos resurfaced, Lina in music cameos, dancing at parties long before she met Travis, and were twisted into evidence of a hidden past. Even her attempt to clap back, calling critics bird-brain individuals, only drew more heat. In the court of public opinion, every word was flipped into guilt. Travis wasn't spared either. He deactivated Instagram, admitted on streams that the hate was draining, and revealed Lina had cried herself to sleep under the weight of strangers' judgment. Still, he refused to bend. "I know what I got," he told fans. "My girl's been with me 5 years. Y'all are just now starting to talk about me." Those weren't the words of a man walking away. They were the words of someone digging in, unwilling to let the mob decide his relationship's fate. But while Travis's defiance mattered, StephenASmith's intervention hit on another level. Unlike Travis, who could be dismissed as blinded by love, StephenA was an outsider with nothing to gain, and that made his voice impossible to ignore. StephenASmith's willingness to stand in the fire raised the stakes. This was no longer just a young couple's drama. It had become a clash between one of sports media's loudest voices and the collective force of the internet. When he turned his focus on the celebrities who piled on, his words hit like a hammer. Athletes, entertainers, influencers, none were spared. He made it clear, this wasn't harmless chatter. It was a coordinated campaign to break someone down, and he refused to let it pass. As clips of his fiery defense spread, the tension only tightened. The storyline shifted from is Lina untrustworthy to who controls the narrative? Could love withstand 1,000 think pieces, TikTok breakdowns, and self-appointed experts dissecting her every move? Could a marriage survive when even the most powerful voices in sports couldn't agree on whether she was loyal or dangerous? With StephenA drawing a line in the sand, the battle lines were set. Meanwhile, the spotlight on Lina only grew harsher. Travis Hunter wasn't just a college star anymore. He was stepping into the NFL, where pressure shatters more than bones. The league doesn't just test athletes physically, it tests their relationships, families, and inner circles. History is filled with cautionary tales. For every fairy tale couple who endured, there were others whose lives buckled under the weight of fame, fortune, and temptation. And that is the crucible Travis and Lina now face. The cracks are already showing. Travis is being positioned as a rare two-way player, expected to excel at both wide receiver and cornerback. That means long hours, relentless strain, and a level of discipline few can sustain. It also means millions of dollars at stake, endorsements to manage, headlines to dodge, and reporters waiting for the smallest misstep. Lina isn't just expected to stand beside Travis. She's expected to fit into the carefully policed world of NFL spouses, where every look and outfit is measured against those who came before her. To some, she's a misunderstood figure, unfairly burdened with scrutiny in a life she never sought. To others, she's not cut out for the role, uncomfortable under the spotlight because she knows it isn't really hers. In the world of tabloids, perception outweighs truth. Critics point to the timeline they refuse to drop. Lina once admitted Travis wasn't her type, a casual remark that turned into dynamite. Fans replayed it as confession, linking it to her hesitation to reply to his messages, her slow shift into exclusivity, and the murky overlap with a prior relationship. Online sleuths spun a story of calculation, claiming she waited until Travis was single and rising before making her move. In their eyes, it wasn't young love, it was strategy. And once framed that way, every public moment became evidence. Looking distracted at the Heisman ceremony? Proof she wasn't invested. Accepting a luxury Mercedes as a wedding gift? Proof she was cashing in. The so-called calculated love narrative shadowed her every step, recasting romance as a master plan. Even her Instagram handle change, taking Travis's last name, was mocked as branding instead of devotion. Every gesture meant to signal commitment was twisted into something darker. No surprise, then, that Travis lashed out, telling critics to go find a life. But even his frustration was spun as proof he'd fallen under her spell. Now, with the NFL looming, the stakes are higher than ever. Analysts predict Travis could land one of the richest rookie deals in years, tens of millions guaranteed. Wealth that could transform not only his life, but everyone around him. And that's where the conspiracy sharpens. If prenup rumors are true, trust is already fractured within his inner circle. If they're false, then he's stepping into immense wealth without protection, the exact scenario critics warn could end in heartbreak. Can a relationship already battered by controversy withstand the pressure of money, fame, and the constant whispers that trail every star athlete? Lina hasn't stood idle. Over the past year, she's leaned into a story of transformation, framing herself as someone finding strength in faith and self-reflection. Her social media, often laced with biblical language, paints a picture of a woman determined to break free from judgment. In one video, she spoke of dedicating herself to a higher purpose and stepping away from the shackles of online hate. For her supporters, it was proof of sincerity, a young woman growing in real time while the world tried to cast her as a villain on trial. Some advised the couple to seek counseling fast, but even that sentiment fed into the larger debate. Lina's so-called redemption arc has been anything but universally embraced. Critics argue her tearful videos and faith-laced captions are less confession than strategy, calculated image control in a high-stakes game. They point to the timing, every post arriving on the heels of a fresh scandal, every line polished enough to feel rehearsed. Was she truly shielding Travis from negativity, or working to prove she deserved a place beside him as he neared a life-changing NFL contract? The split in perception has become its own subplot. Some fans defend her sincerity. Others comb through her words for signs of manipulation. What makes this battle compelling is that both images can exist at once. Lina can be the young woman sobbing on her bathroom floor, crushed by strangers' cruelty. And she can be the careful figure curating a path toward public forgiveness. The truth may never be clear, which is perhaps why the fascination endures. Her story has become a mirror, forcing the audience to ask whether redemption is earned quietly through change or staged publicly for approval. And as Travis's star rises, the answer to that question may decide whether Lina is remembered as his partner in triumph or as a cautionary tale. Adding to the spectacle is the way celebrities and influencers have thrust themselves into the saga, complicating the narrative with their own commentary and agendas. We've seen Des Bryant urge Travis to cut ties, Charleston White spin his wild philosophies, and rappers weigh in on Lina's authenticity as if they were licensed counselors. Each comment throws fuel on the fire. Each time, Travis and Lina vanish from social media, only to resurface, battered but still side by side. The cycle repeats so often that fans now wonder, is this resilience or a refusal to face the truth? That razor's edge is what makes StephenASmith's defense hit so hard. He isn't just protecting a couple, he's calling out an entire ecosystem that profits from their collapse. The bigger question lingers. Are Travis and Lina simply navigating normal growing pains under abnormal pressure? Or is this the slow-motion unraveling of a relationship held together by fame and fear? The NFL has a way of exposing the truth, magnifying cracks until they split wide open: contracts, travel, grueling schedules, fans, opportunists. No love letter or Instagram post can shield a couple from that storm. And with Travis poised for generational wealth, the stakes are sharper than ever. Stephen A. has planted his flag. He's defended Lyanna, challenged the critics, and dared anyone to call her a fraud again. But the NFL spotlight will only grow brighter from here. The test is coming. Will this fairy tale love story crumble into the nightmare so many predict? Or will loyalty silence the doubters once and for all? What do you think? Has Stephen been right to fight for Lyanna, or is he defending the indefensible? Drop your thoughts below and buckle up. This saga is far from over. Until next time, stay sharp, stay curious, and we'll see you on the other side of the drama.